If you're in the business of selling Lego parts, or really anything for that matter, you understand that you need to be able to quickly and easily find the inventory that your customers have ordered when you are picking their order, or potentially you risk not being able to grow and operate your business to be as profitable as you would like. After all, the more time you spend fulfilling orders, the less time you have to add inventory. And the less time you have to add inventory, the smaller your inventory gets. And with that logic, you will get to a point where your orders have slowed down enough so you theoretically do have more time to add stock to your inventory, but then your orders go up. And then you spend more time picking orders, meaning once again you have less time to add inventory, and it goes on and on and on. The key here is to be as efficient as possible when picking orders, and a large key to efficiency is organization. One great way to stay organized in a business like ours with thousands upon thousands of individual units of inventory is by using Acro Mills units, which are plastic, stackable storage bins that have drawers on them and come in a variety of sizes. Right behind me you can see quite a few of them, because that is our main storage method here at Just a Brick in the Bucket. Now, I've mentioned in the past that we are capped out on Acro units within this garage, which is mostly true. However, today I am beginning the process that I hoped we wouldn't have to do of once again rearranging some drawers and adding one more wall, which should help us get 28 more Acro units in here. Let's get started. Now, before we can begin moving things around, we really need to create a plan. This actually took a lot longer than we anticipated, mostly because we were really hoping to not have to add more to the garage and really hoping we'd be moved out into a small warehouse by now. Anyway, our first thought was that this workstation right here always feels like it takes up a lot of room because it's right in the center of the garage. So we contemplated getting rid of this workstation, but honestly we use it almost every single day for reassignment or adding pieces, so of course that wasn't really an option. And then obviously we're not going to get rid of our shipping station and the countertop that we also use daily. So then we had to kind of look back at what else we could change, so we decided to look at our pick path and what we could do about that. The first aisle of our pick path is actually pretty well optimized, besides the fact that it's a little bit too tall on the left side here, but we decided to leave that uppermost row of Acros because it does give us 7 more units. As you walk through the aisleway, you pick from left to right, then you move to the next column and left and right, and so on, all the way down the aisleway. This means you only walk down the aisle once per pick sheet to gather any items anywhere within the aisle. So no more going down this side of the aisle, reaching the end, and having to come back up this side of the aisle. Now, after you turn the corner, well, that is where things start to get inefficient. You see, when we put up this wall, we never really thought we would ever return to this side of the garage after we passed this side of the wall, but just a few months ago, we built another wall, which now meant we did need to return to this side. So out the window went that concept of left to right picking, and you now go down this side of the wall, over to our other aisle, which is optimized for 2-sided picking, and then you return your way back here to finish your pick. It did work for a little while, however, now our idea is to close off this entrance here, right in front of me, so there's no convenient way to get back over there except going backwards through the pick path, which frankly doesn't make any sense at all. So what exactly is the plan? Well, overall, it's a basic shuffle of our Acros on the existing walls, in addition to this small wall to cut off this passageway. We're going to begin by taking off the wall all the Acro units from drawer 3865 to 4728 and 7849 to 8160. This wall is then going to shift slightly towards the bin section to be even with the other side of the aisle. We'll then build another wall and connect it to the existing wall to extend the aisle and completely close off the passageway. Then the Acros with drawers 3865 to 4728 will be remounted to the 2 walls within the aisle to allow for the left and right picking method. After that, all the Acros from 4728 to 7848 will be shifted to meet back up with the existing units and fill in the new side of the new wall. Then we'll add back the last 8 units of drawers 7849 to 8160 at the end of the 3rd aisleway. Finally, we'll shift our E-section large drawers over to the back side of the new wall, slightly shift over the workstation, and place our folding table we took out of the way over next to our bin section, and do a little bit of cleanup. This now gives us space to add an additional 20 Acro units and potentially 28 if we can maneuver the E-section drawers to either another area or find a better way to compact those pieces. We're going to begin by taking the Acros off these 2 existing walls. Now, last time we did this, we took off 80% of the Acro units we had, but that's back when we had only about 70. Now we have over 160, 72 of them which need to move locations. So we have a lot of Acros to move. So I'm just going to pull these off, set them aside, and then we can get to building a new wall. Alright, now that all the Acros off this wall and that wall have been put aside, it is time to shift this wall over and make it even with the end of this one. That was a lot easier than I anticipated. We are now ready for the next step. Our walls are actually a pretty basic build. We're essentially taking some 2x3s, building a rectangle, and then taking some 1x4s and mounting them horizontally on the wall at various heights so we can mount the Acros. The two smaller walls we built are exactly 60 inches wide and 78 inches tall. This allows us to mount 12 Acros on each side and gives us about 15 inches of space on the bottom. This new wall we're going to build is no different. We're going to follow the same steps except for the slats on the outside, which will extend a little further, but we'll get there when we get there. I have all the material here. It's about $50 worth of lumber. Let's get building. Alright, now that the wall's up, we're going to screw it into the existing wall on that side. And if you notice, I've only put slats on the inside part here, not on the outside part. And that's because we're going to extend these outside ones all the way past the edge of this wall to connect to the corner of this wall. That's going to allow us to have one more column of drawers on the outside than on the inside. 4 more Acros, more space for more parts. Perfect. Now I just have to measure from that side of the wall to there, cut a couple more pieces, screw them in, and then we're all done with the construction. If I did my math right, they should be 84 inches long. Now that we have the wall up, we get to do the extremely tedious task of moving each and every Acro unit from the wall and putting it in its new home. We have to be super careful not to spill any parts, or we're going to have a long night ahead of us. And by we, I mean me. I'm the only one here today. After the 7 columns that we have that are laid in the aisleway right now, putting left and right on here, I have 60 more units over there to shift over here and down there, so this is going to take a little while. Okay, all the Acros have been moved and we had no casualties, which is great. Which means we're almost ready to get back picking the orders, hopefully this time a little bit more efficiently since we can walk down this aisleway with one pass. Unfortunately, it will take a little bit to relearn the pick path after the first aisleway since every single unit has moved, so there's no longer an intuition of knowing where things are, but I'd say after a week or two we should have it down again. As you can see, we now have all this open wall space for new Acros for us to continue growing our inventory. The final step now is going to be making some minor adjustments like moving those E-bins over here, shifting our workstation down a little bit and folding up, or putting this little folding table over there. After that, I'm going to call it a day because it's been a long one. And there you have it. Everything, mostly everything, is in its new home, at least for the next few months until we fill up the space again. We now theoretically have about 18% more space to add Acros and can hopefully max out the garage again and provide an even larger variety of parts for our customers. I am now fairly confident in saying that without getting rid of that reassignment workstation, we cannot fit any more Acros in this garage. That's pretty much it. As always, please like this video if you found it interesting. Comment down below and let us know how you feel about our new pick path. And please, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, well, you know what to do. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.